Um,
More signs of weakness.
Weakness. If they can't stand to be apart from you for very long, like if they're always calling you from the office phone, hi, I just saw you 10 minutes ago, I need to hold you and be near you again. It's like, I don't know, this is not a romance novel, and I don't know, it's weak. Another thing that I think is weak is if a guy has an addiction. If he's an alcoholic or workaholic, I don't mind smoking, and I don't mind going out for a drink every now and again, that's fine. But like any kind of like drugging or any habit that's really, really like a ritual to him, no, that's weak. And if they give in to you all the time, that's weak, If you say, we're doing this, and they don't say, look, I have a life too, I need to, do my thing while you do your thing. If they kind of like wrap themselves up in you and you're the only thing they have, that's weak. If they can't maintain their life. But actually, a lot of men don't have that problem. Women have that problem. Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 24, but I really feel 40.
Yeah. What age did you become boy crazy?
I was boy crazy before I started fucking. I was boy crazy at like 11, but I didn't fuck until I was 17. And
what was it like the first time?
It sucked. It was horrible.
What led up to it?
What led up to it? Wanting to, because I liked a guy really bad. I liked one guy so much, and I heard that it hurt and that it was painful and uncomfortable physically.
Yeah.
So I figured if I went with this guy I didn't care about, I could enjoy it with the guy I really cared about, which is actual sick. That's really sick logic. You know what I mean? Like, I'll just fuck some guy I don't care about so I can enjoy it with my real lover. That was my experience. And
what was it like?
Horrible. It was horrible. It was first of all, it was this guy who was huge. It was a telephone pole.
How big? Speaking of telephone poles.
It was that big. It was a telephone pole, like over there.
Wow.
It was huge. It was a black guy, and it was huge.
Really? Black men really are that big. Some of them.
He was. I don't know
what 10 inches? 8 inches?
We're talking 10, 12.
Oh
huge,
my
a
God.
ruler, a yardstick. And for your first
big
time,
around?
No, actually thin, but just long. Like go up all the way up to your uterus.
Oh, does that hurt or does that feel good? I hear
it hurt.
Ouch.
The first time, I mean, you're trying to get something this big into something this big for the first time, and it's a muscle, and it's not used to opening and contracting, and that's very visual, isn't it? It's not used to like opening and contracting, so you're trying to get something way huge into something that small that's not about to budge.
Ouch.
Not for the first time, no matter how excited you are. And I wasn't very excited because I knew that it was going to be kind of mechanical, and I knew that I was going to be like doing this to just get it over with so that I could move on and enjoy it. And for me, it was very painful. There was a lot of blood. I was very uncomfortable, but I was like, okay, I'm just going to do it. It was not fun. And I actually wish I had waited and done it with the guy that I liked, But,
was he sensitive?
The guy?
Yeah.
Oh, no. But I told him what it was about. I said, look, I don't care about you. I don't, I just want somebody who's like willing. And he was older than I was, so he was like, oh yeah, young girl, sure.
He was very willing.
Right in there. Yeah, so of course we were protected, and
did he get off?
Oh, I'm sure.
But obviously it was yucky.
I'm sure. I didn't
you.
pay any attention though. As soon as it was over with, I was up and out of there. I was like, okay, get dressed. You're out of here. Bye.
Were you ever with him again?
Oh no. Look, he wasn't even my type. I chose somebody really not attracted to me just to get it over with. So,
often women are attached to their first,
no.
but luckily
I was
that didn't.
sickened by it. I was just like, it's got to be better, And it was.
And it was when you got with the guy you liked.
No, actually, I never hooked up with him, which is the ironic thing about it. So, but and I wasn't until much later that I actually tried it again because I was convinced it was so painful. I steered clear for a while.
Yeah.
I just stuck to like my own little practices.
And what age did it become good?
Probably like around 19 or 20 when I realized how to work it myself. You know what I mean? How to just like take control of it, know how to feel good for myself, and take care of business like that on my own. You know what I mean? Like when you find out what feels good to you and you kind of, you work it like you can. You know what I mean? I mean, pretty much for a guy, it's easier.
It is.
But whereas women have more trouble finding out what they really like, what gets them off.
Right.
I found out like probably around age 19 or 20, when I didn't have to deal with all the young boys and their head games and stuff, because that was always the most painful thing about the sex.
What did your parents teach you about sex? And
I was actually exposed to pornography really, really early. My parents, they just said, I don't really even remember, but I know that at a young age I would find like pornography in my mother's home, and I lived with my mom. She was a single parent, and her boyfriends and things, I don't know what they did. I don't even want to think about it, because it's just like, you don't want to think of your parents that way. But I know that I was exposed to pornography really early, and then as a result I'm kind of perverted. But that's okay. I
wait,
accept
as
that
a
about
result,
myself.
how did
I'm
that?
perverted.
Oh,
But I accept that about myself, and I embrace it because it's part of me, and I'm comfortable with it. You know what I mean? And I think guys don't mind.
no, we don't mind at all.
I mean, I go to a peep show every now and again, check out a XXX movie theater. I'm down for that.
Oh,
It's cool.
that's wonderful.
Right.
Guys long for a woman like you.
Well, I don't know about that, but sometimes I think because I'm so open like that they think that anything can happen, or like they can introduce another girl into the scene. No. That's
Oh,
not
you won't
happening.
go for a menage a
No,
trois.
I've done it before, but somebody always gets hurt. Somebody always feels like the outcast. I mean, you can't do it with friends. Point blank, you have to do it with strangers. Two
Right.
people you don't know, you'll never see again. Nobody you're emotionally involved with as a friend or otherwise, because somebody feels left out sooner or later. Someone's jealous, someone's hurt, or two people start hard. Two people start like fucking on the side, and then one person feels left out, etc. You know what I mean? It always ends in like bad emotional damage for somebody, at least one person.
For one of the women.
Exactly. For one of, you know what, and sometimes for the man. I remember I was listening to a talk show. I know talk shows are trash, and they're all like media hype and all that, but I was listening to, there's a fly there. Sorry. I was listening to a talk show, and a guy called in, and he said, I'm really worried because now my wife wants this other woman. Or I've even heard a guy call in and say, now my wife is fucking this guy on the side, and I don't know what to do. You know what I mean? So the man can get hurt too. It's not all just the women, you know?
It's a typical male fantasy.
Exactly. I've had two men before.
Is that good?
It's hard, because you have to please both people, or you think like there's enough orifices or something to go around, and you realize that like somebody is kind of like always kind of like waiting, like, okay, when's it my turn, or it's okay. It was cool. I was a little uptight though, because it was something I'd thought about for so long, and I really was looking forward to it, and I kind of built it up so much in my head, and I was nervous, and I knew one of the guys quite well, and he wanted to make that fantasy a reality for me, but the other guy didn't know him so well, and he wasn't so attractive. He had like a pot belly and stuff, but he was cool, and I don't know, it was just different.
Wait, how close were you to your mother growing up?
I used to hate her, but now I realize that she just did the best she could. I think I was close to her in a sick way, like I was her mother or something.
What about your father?
My father was pretty much absent during the whole period.
Did you have a father figure?
Yeah, I did. A horrible one. My mother's boyfriend. He was horrible.
Was he a steady one man who was
Pretty
around,
much.
or was there like a cycling of
In the
men?
beginning, there was a string of like quite a few men, and they were all black. Because as you know, well, maybe you haven't figured it out, but I'm half black and half white. My mom is Canadian French, and my father is black and Japanese. So,
Yeah, I'm curious. I was just curious what your ethnic.
Yeah. So in the beginning there were lots of like black African American men, and then in the end it's like this white guy, and she was with him for 13 years, and is still with him, and I can't stand him. But I guess if anybody was a father figure, he probably was the most destructive father figure I could have.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah, it's pretty bad. But
Men think about sex every 7 seconds, I once read, and it seems right to me. And as we're the ones who are always chasing it, it makes sense to me that men are more highly sexed than women. What do you think?
I think that's not true. I think that women think about it just as much. However, we like a guy to finesse us and to be subtle about it, not to just come right out and go, so, I'm getting it tonight, am I? No. No, because if you expect it, you're definitely not getting it. If you say you expect it.